How has Anime Last Stand lost thousands of players in their past update? That's what we're gonna find out today, and I'm gonna go into detail for the reasons why exactly Anime Last Stand is in its probably biggest downfall period yet. Now, as we look at the history, not even history, but we're going to be looking at the basic ideas. Why exactly has Anime Last Stand lost thousands? What is happening? And how could they also fix it possibly? Where I will give ways and possibilities on how to make this game so much better, so much more playable for everyone. Now, if we look at the past statistics of the game went on an uprise. I believe it was during the Demon Slayer slash I forgot the other one. It was Demon Slayer and then some other anime. It peaked 120k. 120k. No. I think it was like 120k, 100k players concurrent. Anime Last Stand was in its glory phase. It was beating Vanguards. It was being this. It was being All Star. It was being every single anime tower defense on the market. And now it's averaging a PT less, a very small amount of players, which is only like 16k as I'm recording this video. And we need to actually talk about it because this is bad. First point to start off is there was no updates for 3 weeks. Now you may be wondering, how can a 3-week gap period affect Anime Last Stand that badly? Now let me tell you, man. As you see, Anime Vanguards, yeah, they update monthly sometimes. Yeah, they actually most of the time is monthly. Now they kind of planned up. They're doing a bit. I think it's bi-weekly every 4 weeks. It's still a long period. But how can a 3-week break cause ALS to drop in players that quickly? Now the reason is, if we use logic, right, we are used to feeling like filled up with content every single week in, week out, something new to grind for. We're used to it, and when that breaks, that habit, that like normality breaks away, we start feeling a lot less. No, I say more lazy. We feel more lazy. We're less likely to play the game because we're like, it's been 3 weeks. What's there to do? In that 3-week period, people got bored of this game, therefore switched up to a different game. And when people switch from one game to another, they want to grind that game. That's why. That's really the main issue. Now, a lot of players left during that time. Yeah, no updates for 3 weeks. People got bored eventually because the content is for ALS focuses on quantity over quality. People play ALS because of how much quantity there is. They don't play for quality base. It's quantity. Now they did update. They did make it look better in the recent updates, but that's not gonna save them. They're known for quantity over quality, and that's literally why ALS has dropped. It's because taking a break here, Vital Spot, the only way they could possibly recover is if they do a update 7.5 Anime Vanguard style update where it destroys everything, where it's peaked, it's absolutely peaked. And there are some reasons that I'll give at the end of the video. Number 2, you of course have the macro frenzy or whatever. Yeah, most of the players currently playing ALS, I could put at least half of them are macroing. Now in every game you macro, in every game you do this, yeah, but if we deep it, Anime Vanguard's macros, yeah, they're good. I'd say they're actually like useful because even if you don't macro, you could still actually be quite good at the game. I have not macroed in any game for a long time. The last time I macroed was ALS for Crollo. That's it, okay? Now, I don't macro, right? And that's why I don't like ALS as much as I used to. I love this game. Now it's dropped. If we look at the latest update, meaning you got to kind of macro it, yeah? They dropped a new mode, first of all, Alchemy Trials, which you have to buy through this like that. Now you could play it yourself, yeah, you could probably get friends, but most people like to solo stuff. People like to play by themselves. So this being it's kind of macroable, but at the same time I say it's not really. If you use Tiny Touch you can't use it here, but still this is fine. All right, the real part is when we get to this update based on macros, like how much you go to macro, it's calm. But when you go into the raids, when you go into the most recent updates, yeah, raids, first of all, you got a macro for the raid character for half the time, yeah. Trials, godly trials require certain characters. Where do you get them from? Raids. or even legend stages. Now, legend stages are even worse, okay? As you see here, I have not been even playing this game, right? You gotta get him 25 games, yeah? This irrelevant, you gotta get that as well, 15 games right there. Latest Hunter x Hunter update, 40, you're not getting a 1% before you even hit the P. That is like a promise. And even AV has the same issue. But the thing is, AV, you get that one unit. That unit's usable for time. These units don't stay usable. And look at that. It's literally shouting macro. You gotta get that. So that's what? That's 45 games. That's 35. And that's 25. Yeah? If you do 45, add 35, that's 80. And then you add 25, that's 105 games. If we actually do the maths, 105 games. Now, in perspective, if you don't have 2 times speed, you're cooked. But if you do, you're averaging around 3 minutes to 4 minutes a game. We'll do 4 minutes. You need to spend a total of 7 hours. Actually, that's not even much, but 7 hours every single update game. That. And by the way, it could differ. The time could actually differ because 7 hours. Realistically, no one's playing this a tower defense game for 7 hours straight unless the game was at like top 10 fun. So that's another reason. Like literally, the grind. You got a macro. You could only macro. Plus, it's just rinse and repeat nowadays. So yeah. Third one, it's more grinding. Okay, there's a lot more grinding involved. Not even more grinding, but like it's just more time consuming. Because, for example, Godly. Yeah, if we hop on now, yes, Godlies are meant to be the best units in the game. But yeah, Godlies are, some of them, actually most of them are literally unusable. They're actually rubbish. You have Johnny, very OP. You have Freeman, good still. All these here, good. Shin, not really. No, Luffy is alright. Sungjin is alright. When we get down to this part, Pride, True Curse King, Dio over Heaven. These guys are complete rubbish now. They're not usable. Now, some will say Sukuna is still usable, but I wouldn't. He's not there anymore. He's not that good. And that's what I mean. You have to grind. If you're not in this, it's like a 95. Yeah. You gotta play this game week in, week out, every single update, or you're gonna fall behind. And now the latest update, Alchemy Trials, you can't solo it. Actually, Alchemy Trials, you're good. You can solo. But the Siege mode, don't let me get started on that. Siege mode is, you can't solo basically. It's almost impossible to solo. Yeah. You're gonna be like just getting by in a jiffy. And why, you may say? Because farms are disabled. Yes, farms are disabled, guys. So the thing that probably is the most useful, the things that actually meant to help you, are disabled. Now, if we actually look at the units, by the way, that we have, like, you need nature units on. Nature and magical. If you don't want to get hit with a debuff, right? With a full debuff. You're not getting anywhere with that. I promise you, you're not getting anywhere. Half the units are dead. Most of them are literally power crap, yeah? Every single update, they provide more OP units, but in the next update, more OP units come. Now, I know that's how it's meant to be, but if you're grinding 7 hours for a unit, they should not be rubbish, okay? They shouldn't be rubbish. They should be at least good enough for a couple more updates. There's no excuse. That's my issue. There's more grinding. You gotta grind week in, week out. It's like a 95 at this point. There's no enjoyment. There's just more units. I like the way they have quantity. But there's sometimes there's too much. And they just gotta relax. They gotta think of original. Most of the modes are actually original, but they just gotta relax a bit and think, how can we make this game better? How can we do it? Because that's where people just left. AV, you're grinding. Yes, they don't have 2 times, 3 times speed because they don't need it. They have events where you get 2 times of a currency. You get 2 times this. Why not A less? Done. But yeah. Another thing is just more grinding. It's like a 95 at this point. Literally, you're working in a store, just grinding. It's not enjoyable as it used to be. All right, that's my third point. Next couple of points, they're just gonna be short, but quick and snappy. Yeah. First one is passives. As if we look at Luffy, for example, yeah, scroll down, we look at abilities. He has quite a lot, right? You gotta read through this. Then you have Sung Jin-woo. He also has quite a lot to read through. You also gotta understand, right? Other units, they have a bit less, but Again, they have passives. Now, if these are, by the way, usable units still, these are guys who can be used still. But if we scroll down and we look for some old units, right? Old units, just keep in mind, they're not new, they're old. Yes, side, there's 3 there. He's still usable, Shanks is still usable, but there's a lot of units out there that have a lot of like passives, right? Every single unit has a different passive, different thing they do. But they're not usable. They're not usable. Sid, he's still usable because of his nuke, but like Benny Murray, for example, not much. Arthur's still decently usable, I'd say. But again, there's so many passives. Like here, for example, Heaven Demon Life. Max damage battery with overload, so don't really think, but 300, right? But look at the passives. Let's be real. If you guys don't play the game for time, right? If you don't play, if you take a break, you come back, you're not gonna know what your units do. They do too much to actually remember, and half the time there's no point of understanding a passive, understanding a unit, how to use them when the next update they're gonna be useless, and that's another issue. Next issue is updates. The updates, I can't lie, lately have been dead. I'm being honest, brutally honest. Now I know I glazed a couple, maybe a month or 2 ago. Nah, update was dead. This update, the only units that are good, right, in the update 66, Alchemy. By the way, the Alchemy trials, I already played it. I tried basically every new unit. Short Alchemist, usable. Yeah, he's usable. He ain't usable. He's not. Alright. This guy is decent, but at the same time, dead. And then you have, I believe him. He's usable, yeah? But again, how long will it be? There's only 3 units out of all the other units that are usable. Now, fair enough, they did add the bounties, right? Where you get rewards for actually completing the update. Fair play. But let's be real. Who is playing? Bro, who on earth is gonna actually do most of these? No one is bothered, yeah? You can't even solo really Siege. It's quite difficult to solo. The updates are just stuff people don't ask, yeah? In my opinion, I don't know who asked for Alchemy, for an Alchemist update. I forgot what it was called, anime, but I don't know who asked for it. But I feel like they're just putting out whatever they can, because most of the models are reused. Okay, these ones are definitely not reused, because these ones you can even see they're like, they're nice. But there are so many models that are reused across like their games. But that's a different story, right? And my last point is rerolls. It's now a 95. At this point, the grind is a 95. Yeah. You complete the update, fine. Let's say you complete the update, yeah. What can you do for the next update? Rerolls. How can you get rerolls? Grind every single mode, from boss rush to raids to dungeon to survival to every single mode. It's like a 95, and that's how you get rerolls. And if you don't have rerolls, you can't really stay in the meta. Because what did they do? They literally, if you don't have avatar or glitched on your unit is unusable. It's not usable. He is inefficient. The unit literally sucks. Alright, if you don't have any of those. So at this point, it's a 95 on getting rerolls and rolling till you get an avatar or glitched. If you don't get either, remember that unit's not usable. He sucks. Some units, fine, with overload, they might be calm. But most units require glitched or avatar to actually be used and actually be efficient for at least one more update. Without those, you're cooked. Now, even godlies suck. Like, there are so many, they keep adding godlies. Like, some of them people actually enjoy, right? Hero Hunter. I feel like this game doesn't look at anime like that. They just add characters and make them OP, and they more like logically, the more OP characters actually suck. You have Hero Hunter, who's meant to be super OP, right? Like OP. You have Luffy here, Gear 5 as well, OP. Sung Jin, who's literally as well OP. But then you have guys like Shinra. Shinra's actually decently OP, but look at that. Ain't no way you're using it. And his passive is literally for every element you have in your team. That's different. Like, it's actually annoying. He's basically unusable now. Ichigo's still usable because of his passive. But what comes with that? His damage is quite poor. Then you have Wukong, omnipotent. This guy's useless. The only reason anyone uses him is because of his pass for his team buff, which is 100% team ability damage. Again, half of these units are useless, and I feel like they just put out any unit they want, any like anime ID that comes to the head, they just put out. Yeah, get it, make an update for it, and that's it. New mode's calm. The one I do like is Alchemy Trials. Yeah, I like the idea, but I don't fully like the execution. I feel like what would make sense would be random units instead, because this, like, you're forced to use units that most of them are really not that good. Okay, and that's literally my opinion right there. Literally, that it's a 95. You grind rerolls, you get glitched avatar, you move on with your day, right? No one's bothered to do that. People want to have fun. People want to feel excited about stuff, because glitched, in my opinion, is no longer as, when you get it, you're not as excited as you'll be on, for example, AV Giga Monarch. Now, it's not because AV Giga Monarch is so much more difficult. No, it's because it's like a 95. Your body is fed up with playing one game over. You're gonna experience burnout. That's what people experience. People have experienced burnout, which caused ALS plays to also drop in play base. Like, a lot of people that left went to AV because it's a new game, it's a different type, and it has a different feel. Yeah, I personally enjoy AV. Only thing I don't like is how slow it is, but other than that, I do enjoy it. ALS, I like the spacing a lot better, of course, but it's just burnout at this point. You're rinsing and repeating. It's a 95. It feels like a job. It doesn't feel like a game you come and play for fun. It feels like a job. And don't get me started on tournaments. Tournaments, if you do not have basically every single unit in the game and you don't use a bug, or you don't have every single unit in the game, you're not getting the top one. Never. You need literally every unit, practically every single update. You need all the limited units, all the units, just in case one of them experiences a bug and you could use it in a tournament, or if there's some OP way to be in. Tournaments are just broken. I can't lie. I played there a couple times, won a couple of times, some stuff. Never again. My last final point, because I don't want it to be a long in depth. I do slightly want it to be in depth, but I don't want it too much. But my last point has to be enchants. The useless, the pointless. And the thing is, I believe they said they're not going to scale it for enchants, yeah? So therefore, theoretically, your unit should be more OP than the stage. Like, your units are meant to actually be more OP, not completely easy, like so OP that you just one-shot everything. It shouldn't be so easy, but theoretically, units should be a lot better than the stage itself. Now, enchants, they added this. The idea was perfect. If they executed it better, I give them that, yeah? That would have been amazing, right? Because what they could have done is not scale it to enchants. So every update they tested, because what they do now, I'm convinced, they have either avatar or glitched on the brand new units and see how they do. I'm convinced. But what else they did, they started doing, is using enchants on them. And I think that's where it kind of moved away. Because when you add enchants, first of all, rerolls, you could grind. Yeah, there's no issue. You can literally rinse or repeat. It's calm. You can literally get unlimited. But when it comes to enchants, you have this, you have the pearls, and then you have, of course, these ones, which are the paid ones, or you can get them from bar plus, right? In my opinion, it's such a dumb idea, because it doesn't it doesn't help anyone realistically. If you look at my units here, some have mystical, some with this. If your units do not have at least a glorious, yeah, maybe even a mastery should be calm, yeah, this one, mastery should be calm. But if they do not have a glorious, they are useless, right? And if we look at the race, by the way, the race are quite, you see, they're quite, bad. And keep in mind, you can't really farm these. So if guys are using glorious on the brand new units with glitched avatar, you gotta think about it. Does that even make sense? Is that logical? Because I swear, unless, maybe if you're a YouTuber and you have money, yeah, you go shop, you could get dust pearls and this, that, and you can just get around, you're good. But if you're just a normal player, a player who just plays free to play, just plays the game, enjoys it, enchant, you can't keep up. These enchants are pointless, basically. These are just another way of saying, yep, guys, you know what, we're gonna give you basically rerolls, traits 2.0, right? Might as well just give it there. Might as well try make your units a bit more usable, maybe not, no. Enchants actually have no point of having them, okay? And that's my final point of why this game died. Literally, the game is unable to, it's no longer fun. That's the main reason. Those are the points why it's no longer fun, but it's just not fun. Simple as. Alright, I know I've been talking for a while about why it's not fun. Let's get into the more fun part, alright? Why is the game, like, what can be done to revive this game? Now, in my opinion, there are a lot of things, yeah? I have so many ideas on how to revive this game. If I could manage this game, I'd literally implement every single idea. But at the same time, I'm not a game developer. I don't know what's possible. I'm also not sure how to balance games properly. So that's another thing, right? The way you can do it, right? What developers can do is either bi-weekly updates or weekly. They need to stay on a simple, time to time. They can't be doing weekly, then bi-weekly, then weekly. No, you have to be consistent. And the days they update has to become more consistent. So if they say they update on a Friday, they're gonna update on the next Friday if they do weekly, or the next Friday if they do bi-weekly. Yeah. Stay consistent. If they stay consistent, if ALS, developer team, whatever, they stay consistent, this game can do a lot more better. Second of all, point 2, stop rinsing and repeating. As I already talked about, the pities are crazy. 1% chance, 45. No one's trying to do that. No, it's a 95. Make the game fun, not a 95. Not feel like a 95. So I'm here playing. I'm just playing. I'm tired, right? I want to have fun in a game. Games are meant to be fun. And these games, tower defenses, I'll say one thing, is quite difficult to make them fun, yes. But there are many things you could do that will completely change the way the game functions, the way the game feels. One thing they could probably do is what they had, random units. Random units was actually fun. Now, I feel like they should do it more like AV, not AV, Anime Adventures than what they did. Because in Anime Adventures, you get random units, right? Fully maxed out, everything's maxed, right? Only thing that isn't is traits. So what they should do like AA, but instead, when you get the random unit, and then they could be like, you could buy something that allows you to give that unit any trait. Yeah, or maybe do something like AV, where you get 3 cards, you could get a random unit, you could do this, you could do that, and yeah, make the game more fun. Make the game was fun. Like, no point of rinsing, repeating, raid, dungeons, survival, boss rush, this, that, right? No point of rinsing, repeating. Make a limited time game mode every update possibly. If they do bi-weekly, it's possible. Every single update. Make like a game mode that's just fun. It's fun. Like, you hop in and you're actually smiling while playing because it's actually enjoyable. And I feel like ALS, they lack that. They slightly do. But that's another thing they can do. More like unique limited time events. Also, while we're on limited time events, AV is doing amazing with those, right? As you can see, they have like 2 times currency event, this, that. I feel like ALS should also do that. I feel like ALS has, if you literally summon, right? If you go into summoning is useless. You're now grinding for characters. Summoning is practically useless. And I feel like they need to do something about that. I feel like they need to add a limited time event for every, I don't know, just every like couple of updates, a limited time event with the limited time banner, where you could even get a godly from it. Now, godlies are meant to be from trials, but I feel like if they add like a, how vanguards, they're basically the equivalent of a godly. If they add a godly into the banner, where you have to grind the currency over and over. Yes, macroing, as of before I said, is another issue. You just need to macro, but at least it's more durable and more, you'll enjoy it more because you're gonna be grinding a game mode that is fun to get a unit that's actually usable. And another thing on that, make the units actually last longer. Make the units from the update last at least 3-4 more updates, 5 more updates. Don't make them rubbish, because that balancing issue is gonna ruin this game even more. No one's gonna play if it's just this and that. For example, Anime Rangers X, right? I hopped on it. I have Igris with Sovereign. He's useless. The game ARX is there's no point. It's just either they nerf characters, they buff characters, but half the time they leave them in dust. ARX is doing the same thing as the ALS because it's the same owners, of course. But that's another thing. Balancing gotta be a bit better. And my final point is the updates itself. Let's be real. Who asked for a Metal Alchemist update? Now, yes, fair enough. It's a good idea. Metal Alchemist is also quite decently popular as an anime, but who asked for it? People have been asking for other updates for time, for a long time, and I feel Brandon, as as the boss, actually does a good job listening to the community for feedback and this that. But one thing I'd say is they should start doing more community events. Like for example, you get to choose what anime is the next update about, or maybe listen to people more slightly, because I've been hearing for time now, not as much as now, because yeah, kind of the game did die, but for time now, people want a Naruto update, people want a Naruto godly, because it doesn't make sense. You have all these godlies, right? You have every single godly here. You have basically the big three. You have Ichigo, Goku, and then you have Luffy, but there's no Naruto, and that's why I don't get. If you're gonna create a trend within the godly section, follow it. And people were asking for Naruto for time now. I feel like if they do a Naruto godly update, make a fun game mode. Keep in mind, if you guys want to see a video of my game mode idea, for if you literally want to see me make the whole Naruto update myself, right? Ideas, the units that will be involved, everything, let me know down below. Just say Naruto idea, or make the Naruto video please, or something like that. I'll make it for you guys, alright? No problem. But that's another thing. Naruto update, if they actually lock in, yeah, maybe do a two week thing. No, 1 week, because an update to be very good, it should be taken, takes long, unless they could execute in a week. But they need a fun game mode to grind. The godly trials, if they do a godly trial, it should be fun, right? It shouldn't be boring, it should be quite fun. It should be enjoyable as well. Literally, the game mode, they should have 2 game modes, right? The godly trials consist of course, as you now do, collect units, complete stuff. But if the game modes are fun, you're gonna complete the game modes either way, right? And now this is what happens: 2 or 1 game mode, brand new game mode, yeah, fresh. They could do the same thing they did with alchemy trials, where you get every single new unit in there, and they could have one where it's just random units. Hear me out. But yeah, I'm not gonna hear me out, actually. This video is gonna be too long then. But yeah, if they do a Naruto godly update, a lot of people will come back to the game, because people want that Naruto godly. They really do want it, because imagine. And also, I feel like having 2 godlies, fair play, yeah, having 2 godlies, having a lot of godlies in the first place in one bar is quite crazy. But 2 godlies is calm. But imagine just seeing the big 3, yeah, you have the big 3, and you could, it's all my days, it's just perfect, right? Anyways, that's gonna be it. Literally, that's my intake. That's why Anime Last Stand actually lost players, and what they could also do to fix this big issue they have on their hand. And yeah, that's my personal opinion, of course, guys. You could come back at me with your opinions. I will be reading every single comment in this comment section, don't worry, and I will be responding to some, probably most, because I have nothing else to do in my life right now. But hope you guys did enjoy this video. It's just my honest intake on ALS's situation. And also, let me know down below, do you guys think ALS can come back? Do you think my ideas, my intake, my ideas could actually cause ALS to come back? Do you think, guys, wait, let's be real, will you guys play the Naruto update? If they do a Naruto godly update, let me know down below. Would you play it? And do you think ALS can actually make another comeback? Let me know. Anyways, if you did enjoy, like and subscribe. I'm trying to get 1k, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day.